Hey there! You might know Barak in Spanish. Our channel has over 400,000 subscribers. Well, this is the official English version. Same content, same passion. Now in your language. But we need your help to grow. Hit that subscribe button and join us on this new journey. Now, let's get back to the video. Ni der Adolfo el Tren Valencia, nor Freddy Rincón, nor Víctor Hugo Aristizábal, nor even Faustino Esprilla, and much less Juan Pablo Ángel could break the goal-scoring record for the Colombian national team, held by a certain Arnoldo Iguarán. It had to be Radamel Falcao Garcia, the one chosen by the coffee gods. Falcao played in only one World Cup during his brilliant career. Colombia didn't qualify for South Africa 2010 or Qatar 2022, and its star missed the 2014 Brazil World Cup due to injury. So Radamel only made it to Russia 2018, where he barely managed to score one goal. The curious part is that this lone goal against Poland, Falcao's only World Cup goal, was precisely the one that broke the all-time scoring record for Colombia. Falcao added 6 more to finish with 36. James Rodriguez has 29, and it already seems unlikely that he'll catch him. In October 2024, Norway defeated Slovenia 3-0, with 2 goals from Erling Haaland. Up until that day, the top scorer for the Scandinavian team was still the prehistoric Jørgen Jubbe, who retired in 1937. Haaland broke a record that stood for nearly a century, a record not even Touré, Henry Flo, Solskjaer or John Carew came close to. At just 24 years old, Haaland has 42 goals for his country. To put it in perspective, at that age, Cristiano Ronaldo had scored 22 goals for Portugal, half as many. The all-time top scorer didn't reach 42 international goals until September 2013. When he was already 28, so yeah, Cristiano better keep scoring because if things continue like this, the Norwegian is going to catch up eventually. Since debutant Croatia shocked the football world with its 3rd place finish at the 1998 World Cup in France, the ex-Yugoslavs have cemented their spot in the sports super elite. They reached the final in Russia 2018. Luka Modrić won the Ballon d'Or, and Croatia earned another bronze medal at Qatar 2022. And yet, they still haven't produced a striker on the level of Davor Šuka, who to this day remains the country's all-time leading scorer with 45 goals, 6 of them at France 1998, where he won the Golden Boot. Ivan Perisic and Andrej Kramaric have played many more matches than Šuka, but they ran out of time before catching the Croatian legend. The player who inspired this video is named Memphis Depay. Yes, that left-footed Dutch forward scored twice against Malta last week, bringing his tally to 50 goals for the Netherlands. Memphis has already surpassed Johan Cruyff, Marco van Basten, Dennis Bergkamp, Patrick Kluivert, Roy Mackay, Ruud van Nistelrooy, Arjen Robben, Klaas-Jan Huntelaar, and has now tied Robin van Persie at the top. How is this even possible? Is it that modern football features more matches, giving Depay more chances to boost his numbers? Actually, no. This table shows that nearly all the greats from the Dutch national team average roughly a goal every 2 games. The truth is, Memphis, quietly and especially without listening to any noise, whenever he leaves his club and puts on the orange shirt, he always plays at the level of the greatest legends. Jared Borghetti was Mexico's all-time top scorer until Javier Hernandez, with that innocent I wouldn't hurt a fly face, snatched the throne. After being sidelined by Tata Martino starting in 2019, Chicharito was stuck at 52 goals, leaving the door open for Raúl Jiménez to inch closer. This week, matches against the Dominican Republic and Suriname seemed perfect to close the gap, but Raúl only scored once, so Chicharito can relax. Jiménez remains 12 goals away at a safe social distance. The United States doesn't have a single all-time leading scorer. It has two, Landon Donovan and Clem Dempsey, both with 57 goals. That's a lot. For context, in Chile, Alexis Sanchez clearly surpassed Marcelo Salas and Ivan Zamorano with 51 goals. Paolo Guerrero is Peru's top scorer with 40, and that's with him still playing at age 140. So yeah, 57 goals for Donovan and Dempsey is a huge number. Christian Pulisic is about to turn 27 and has only made it halfway. 32 goals and 9 years with the US national team. Just Fontaine scored 30 goals for France, almost half of them at the 1958 Sweden World Cup, where he bagged 13. Fontaine was France's top scorer for over 20 years, until Michel Platini broke his record. It took another 20 years for Thierry Henry to surpass Platini. 15 years later, at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar, Olivier Giroud improbably became France's all-time top scorer with 57 goals. Who would have thought that? But his reign is likely to be short. At 26, Kylian Mbappé already has 50 goals, just 7 behind, and he'll very soon be France's all-time leading scorer. It's hard to believe, but until 2003, the all-time leading scorer for Spain wasn't Luis Suárez, Alfredo Di Stéfano, or even Emilio Butragueño. It was a center-back, Fernando Hierro. Raúl González was just 25 when he surpassed Hierro, but Luis Aragonés stopped calling him up after the 2006 World Cup in Germany. Raúl scored his final goal for Spain at age 28. That made him easy prey for David Villa, who was 29 when he broke Raúl's record, and still had time to add 15 more goals to reach 59. That's a record that won't be broken anytime soon. The only active player that is even remotely close is Alvaro Morata, with 37, and he's already nearing retirement from the national team. It's statistically mind-blowing, but Uruguay's three top scorers all played in the same era. Diego Forlán with 36 goals, Edinson Cavani with 58 goals, and Luis Suárez with 69 goals. First goal against Bolivia in 2007, last goal against Canada in 2024. Hopefully, we could live long enough to see someone born in Uruguay break Suárez's record, but I really doubt it. Gerd Müller was 28 when he retired from the national team in 1974, with 68 goals for Germany. It seemed like an unbreakable record, until someone did break it. It wasn't Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, or Rudi Völler, or Jürgen Klinsmann, and definitely not Oliver Bierhoff. Germany kept producing top-level number 9, but none of them came close to the numbers of the best center forward of all time. That is, until 40 years later, at the 2014 World Cup in Brazil. Miroslav Klose not only broke the all-time World Cup scoring record, he also reached 71 career goals for Germany, just enough to surpass Da Bomba Müller. But when it comes to goal averages, Müller 1.1 goals per match for Germany is really, truly untouchable. Gary Lineker scored 48 goals in his legendary career with England, just one shy of Bobby Charlton's record from the 1960s, a record that stood untouched until Charlton passed the torch to Wayne Rooney in 2015. Back then, People thought it would take another 50 years for someone to top Rooney, but it only took 8, at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium in Naples. Harry Kane set a new standard, one that may truly be hard to beat. Kane already has 73 goals for England, 25 more than the once untouchable Bobby Charlton. Before the King Pelé, Brazil's all-time top scorer was Ademir, the striker from the team that lost the Maracanazo. Then came Pelé, who won 3 World Cups and scored 77 goals for the Seleção. For over half a century, no one came close, until Neymar scored 2 against Bolivia in 2023 and did the unthinkable, surpassing the king, or at least breaking his record. Since then, Neymar hasn't scored again for Brazil. He remains stuck at 79. In 2017, Romelu Lukaku broke a record that had stood for 77 years, the 30 goals scored by Bernard Burger for Belgium. Today, Lukaku doesn't have 30, he has 3 times that. His competition is no longer with his countrymen, but with every international striker in history. With 89 goals, Lukaku is now the 5th highest scorer ever for any national team. And he's just turned 32. Imagine what this guy could be, if only he had aim. A man named Luis Artime, who played in the 1960s, held a record for most goals with Argentina for 25 years, until 1986, when Diego Armando Maradona tied him with the goal of the century, among many other things that made Diego Argentina's top scorer at the time. 10 years later, in 1996, Gabriel Omar Batistuta broke Maradona's record in a World Cup qualifier against Paraguay. 20 years later, at the 2016 Copa America, Lionel Messi surpassed Batistuta with a stunning free kick in the semifinals against the US. Now Messi has 112 goals with the Albiceleste. The top active chaser? Lautaro Martinez, just 80 goals behind. That towering legend, named Eusebio, set the bar high, 41 goals for Portugal. That record stood for decades, until Pauleta broke it in the early 2000s with 47. Pauleta became Portugal's top scorer until March 2014, when Cristiano Ronaldo overtook him in a friendly against Cameroon. Since then, Ronaldo has added 90 more goals, for a grand total of 138. That's not just the Portuguese record, it's the most by any international player ever. From Faisal Shayeste with Afghanistan to Peter Ndoblu with Zimbabwe, no national team's top scorer has come even remotely close to that number. Forged over 22 years and 221 matches, and he's still going. Cristiano's first goal for Portugal came in the opening match of Euro 2004 against Greece. A corner kick, warm and well placed like a Judas kiss, followed by a firm header that will become his trademark. His scoring average stands at 0.62 goals per game for Portugal. In elite football, no national team struggles more to find a long-term striker than Italy. That's always been the case. Good times and really bad. One thing's for sure, Italy simply can't find a reliable forward. No one has even come close to the miserable 35 goals scored by Luigi Riva between 1965 and 1974. Matteo Retegui is stuck at 6. Moiskin has 7. Francesco Totti scored just 9 across his entire Italy career. Antonio Di Natale managed only 11. Andrea Velotti, 12. Mario Balotelli, 14. Luca Toni and Gianluca Valli barely reached 16. Ciro Immobile, 17. Paolo Rossi was stuck at 20. Christian Vieri got to 23. Filippo Inzaghi, 25. Alessandro Del Piero and Roberto Baggio came close, but only managed 27.